Captain America: Brave New World is the newest installment into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, directed by Julius Ona. It's about Sam Wilson, the new Captain America who finds himself in the middle of an international incident and must discover the motive behind a nefarious global plan. Man, I don't know if I'm just becoming more cynical or if the MCU has really fallen off, but I just can't force myself to really care or get excited about these movies anymore. I used to be on the MCU train, watching every single movie, TV show, and trailer breakdown on YouTube, but now I'm not even staying for the end credit scenes anymore. This movie is a mess. There's been rumors and reports for a while now that this film had a rocky production, with different rounds of reshoots, and you can definitely feel it while watching this thing. The editing is so bizarre, as each scene feels so independent from the one that came before or after it, and it results in the film feeling like it was hobbled together from 3 different movies. There's awkward scene transitions, abrupt tone shifts, plot beats that zoom by way too fast, and character arcs that are all over the place. Anthony Mackie is a talented actor and he's trying really hard in this film, but he is given such bland material to work with, not to mention the talents of Harrison Ford and Giancarlo Esposito are majorly wasted. There's a few good action scenes that are entertaining, but there's also an equal amount of action scenes that are messy and boring. People like to joke around that the MCU is military propaganda, which I sometimes agree with, but it is obnoxiously evident in this film. It seriously felt like I was watching an ad for the US Army at some points. Brave New World has a hard time standing on its own. A common gripe you see people have with the MCU is that in order to fully understand these films, you need to have done your homework and watched a whole list of different shows and movies. In the past, I've always pushed back against these claims and I've defended the MCU. But I can't do it anymore, man. In this movie, more than ever, it is so predicated on you knowing things from other media. Look, I respect the interconnected universe, but if you can't understand plot beats because you didn't watch the Glup Shido spin-off series, it just becomes too much. Lastly, this movie just doesn't have a point. There's no big message or takeaway, and it feels like a project that is just moving chess pieces around to set up the next big MCU product. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just out of touch. So in conclusion, Captain America: Brave New World is like a puzzle where none of the pieces connect. So the filmmakers had to cut, tape, and glue together these little pieces in order to make it fit. But rather than resulting in a coherent picture, it's a mess of half-baked ideas and directionless plot beats. There may be a handful of good scenes, but as a whole, it doesn't work on its own as a movie, and it leaves you with absolutely nothing. It exemplifies all the worst qualities of the MCU, and I had a hard time caring about anything. This feels like one of those below average Marvel movies that in 10 years people will convince themselves is actually good and underrated, despite the fact that it still sucks. 2 stars.